Sup guys, so this is my VOD review for Hard Stuck Anonymous versus Can't Rank Up. Alright.
Nice. Yeah, that's fair. Should be able to hold the smokes.
Other than that, nothing major to her. She still feel like it's gonna be really OP. I think her knives, like you can't just right click and it'll reset. Like you
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
actually
yeah.
left click, but other than that.
From showers, just so we only have to worry about close right, and I think we do a Viper wall to cut off vision from showers, just so we only have to worry about close right and lamps.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll save sky blinds if I.
No, he
Okay.
wasn't part of the team earlier.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Alright.
So
So it looks like you guys call for A before the round starts.
that,
Usually, I would say you kind of want to see what their agent comp is, but I guess maybe if you guys like I guess it depends on you guys, right? Like if you guys find that it doesn't actually matter who they play, and it changes like what your strats are, then I guess it doesn't really matter.
Oh, was it the caller?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
A push.
All right.
Okay, cool. So let's do this. Round
Yeah.
one.
All right.
All
I
right.
have 3 extra stars here.
Yep.
I'm going in.
I'm being sucked. Okay,
Oh, you still get that kill.
There's CT.
What is that Sky doing? Okay, Sky, that's your teammates.
Breaking my wall.
It's okay though.
Trying
Coming
to.
in.
I like this flash. It's like we're not really able to capitalize on it, but it does slow them down, right? Like they get flashed, like they're gonna be like running in some random direction. They're probably gonna try to hide behind triple. And if there was someone peeking heaven, he's not gonna jump down when he's blind. So I do like that. One thing, VOD review, I guess I'd say Killjoy. I'm a little bit confused on this Molly. I guess it's not bad, right? If you get that info that they're there, but you did leave the range of your turret. And so I think that I think it's not a bad idea, but I do think that once like this is walled and we have control of U-Haul, you should, I think, run back and make sure you're within range of your utility, just because if they do flank, then, it's a problem. But I still want you to like play for this area, and so the thing is like, I don't need you to run all the way back here. Oh, that is... There you go. I don't need you to run all the way back there, but I'm thinking like maybe you can play more like this pocket, that kind of thing, and you can kind of just like watch that. Maybe you can jiggle peek heaven, right? And so you can let your teammates know, mostly your jet, right? Because your jet is going to be first contact, and you can let your jet know if they've dropped from heaven, which helps your jet because now your jet doesn't have to peek like your jet basically has to peak like bottom under heaven and top heaven, and so that's just hard for your jet to swing on. The rest of you guys, I like the sage wall going up early. I like this idea of the viper wall. I think that we can continue to try this, but the only thing I worry about is that if the opposing team is able to walk around the truck without taking damage, I think that it puts you guys at kind of a it's basically a threat, right? Like the idea is to block this vision so that way anybody in this area has to walk through it in order to see you guys, and vice versa, right? So you can't see them either. And so I'm wondering if we can just try to get this wall to, if there's a way for us to maybe try to cover this little gap, right? So they can't sneak around the truck. And then other than that, overall, I think positioning is good. Sage, I'm hoping to see you go into U-Haul, support your jet, because you have this wall here, like that's not an immediate threat. Your Killjoy will have information if they're flanking early enough, right? Like, so if your Killjoy plays in that pocket, then we'll have the information that they're flanking so early that it gives you guys time to reposition and kind of be prepared for the flank. Yeah, so I'll just let it play and see what happens there. Uh-oh, I can't. How do I play? Okay.
Alright, I'm
yeah.
with you, Boulder.
Oh shoot!
Okay, so here, let's see. Liv, I like that you go into U-Haul to support your jet. It doesn't look like we're able to get trades. Okay. So now I need to figure out how did our Killjoy die and how did our Sage die?
Alright, I'm with you, Boulder.
Flashback site. Okay, Killjoy, it looks like maybe you stepped onto the little box
Oh
that's
shoot!
behind
All
you.
right, Phoenix is,
Yeah, it looks like you stepped on the box behind you.
Phoenix is
Another
vegetable.
one, CT?
Oh, it's you.
And then how exactly did...
Set for U-Haul.
Oh, shoot. How did Sage die?
Alright, I'm with you, Boulder.
Oh shoot! All right,
Oh, dude,
Phoenix
dude.
is
That was a good trade, Jet. I know it's like, you know, it's hard to trade out Arena. You know, it's they can heal or they run away. So
Phoenix is
that was
vegetable.
good. So Sam's, I think the jump onto the box, obviously it was a little risky, right? Like it was like we were punished for doing that. And so in the future rounds, we just want to be aware that they are aware of that somebody may do that again, right? And so they're going to be paying attention next time we go A. I don't hate that positioning. I'm still adamant about you making sure you're playing in such a way that keeps you in range of your utility, because you have your utility specifically set up for a flank. But we never really were able to take advantage of that, you know. At this point, we aren't being flanked, but, you know, the idea is to ensure that we have zero mistakes. And so, yeah, just keep that in mind.
Set for U-Haul.
Bomb, please.
Okay, so here... okay, so you guys see he's close
Stay safe,
truck.
stay safe.
Okay, so you guys tuck... Okay, you guys tuck the truck, you guys smoke triple. He cages close, so that way...
Nice.
That was a good trade. I know that was fine.
We can
Yeah,
force
well
it.
played, guys.
Yeah. I'm gonna like.
All
dash
right.
into that,
So... Looks like you guys are playing more for... B, and it looks like Killjoy, you have your setup for... It looks like an A push, or like a flank, right?
Actual gun. So I'll just
That's
stick
fine.
the team.
Vandal.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Awesome. Positioning looks good. I like this.
Camera right there. They saw us.
That's fine. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Cypher setup.
I push in. Go. 3, 2, 1. Push in.
You ready?
One side. On box. Good shit. CT.
It's Sky's.
Guy CT.
Elbow. There's one elbow.
I'm planting in box, guys. Sorry. I am stunned.
Okay, so cool. In this situation, I would not be so scared to get a little closer. For you, who is this? For our Sky. I wouldn't be scared to get any closer. Like, they didn't really see you walk back sight, and then you are playing Spectre. I know they're playing pistols, but I wouldn't be too scared to just get a little bit closer. You know, basically to be somewhere kind of unexpected. You know, imagine how many times you've tried to retake B, right? And and then like there ends up being somebody super close to CT, right? And it always catches you by surprise and stuff like that. So just keep in mind, like, you know, keep in mind not only what this fight looks like to you, like for you, but also what it kind of looks like to them, right? Like they have, if they're all CT, like this is pretty oppressive. Like we've got one in hookah, we've got one playing what looks like that little jump or that boost box for the jet. And the thing is like your jet will make first contact here. Like your jet's gonna see them either exit or cross before you do. You know, you guys don't have to worry about elbow. So yeah, I would definitely like be down to just like get really close, because the thing is, right, like when jet makes contact, they're probably going to say like jets be long or jets on that boost spot, right? So they're going to be like looking up, and if you can tuck in, get real close, it'll catch them pretty off guard, probably pretty quickly.
This guy's hit CT.
Oh, we're getting flanked.
And it looks like you guys are getting flanked. So Killjoy, that was great on that
I
setup.
slowed him. Okay.
Oh wow, he sucks. And so, you know, we get that information on that flank, so that's good.
Nice.
Astra's hookah.
Okay, cool. So it looks like we were double flanked. And Killjoy, you did a great job stopping that as best you could. It was 2v1, so it was perfect that you got one. They simply got the trade. Yeah, so that was fine, and I think it was a good side hold overall.
Mid.
Go.
On box.
Yeah.
Alright, go for it.
Okay. Okay, so same thing here. I like this idea of I don't mind this 4-man push, and then we have a Killjoy more kind of hovering towards mid to ensure that there's no flank.
One heaven.
I don't so much like this peak here. We have 3 people that are like not in positions to trade, and your jet peaked early. I want to say that this is due to an uncoordinated timing on the
One
push.
heaven.
There's 2 peeking.
Oh
There's
shit.
a lot of Astra shit here.
Did it suck the bird?
Yeah, so this looks like it's just like a kind of a uncoordinated push. Like I know like we got the flash and jet, you wanted to go for the swing. I think we definitely should 3-2-1 this, you know. Potentially it just means a lot of you guys die at the same time, but it also allows for your entry fraggers and your duelists to not feel alone, right? And that's one of the struggles for like an entry fragger and a duelist is that sometimes they just feel like they're playing alone, and oftentimes they are, right? Because like it's tough for our entry fraggers to always have to count everything down. Entry fraggers and high fraggers, right? Like people who just like are out there trying to get high kills, and they're trying to capitalize on anything, right? Like you do a flash, dude, like they're gonna swing off of it, and so you kind of have to adapt to your teammates at the same time. So this is okay, right? So moving forward, right, it's like they're just spamming the wall, they're doing a lot of damage. We need to back up.
Yeah.
16.
So I like that Killjoy, that you are attempting to still claim this A short area, right? But it is a bit risky. I'm gonna assume you probably had a Spectre or something on this bonus round. I think the problem here is kind of the communication. Your Showers players were not keeping them busy. Like, yeah, they were spamming the wall, but you guys weren't really causing an immediate threat to them, you know? So you probably only had like one person really looking at Showers at that point, and the other players who were spamming that, they're probably more focused on short. They might even be rotating off. Yeah, and so what we want to try to do is really coordinate this push, you know? So what happens is jet peaks early, jet dies. You guys try, it looks like you guys attempt to trade, but they're just spamming you guys through walls, and so you guys back up. And I feel like your Killjoy isn't too aware that like you guys aren't committing to this, like you guys aren't pushing this anymore, and it looks like because of that, you guys fall. What needs to happen is that Killjoy provides this threat here to the guy playing U-Haul or lamps, and at the same time you guys are exiting, which makes that Astra, right? It makes that Astra feel threatened by you guys over here in coming out of showers. You know, it forces the Astra to kind of watch two things, and that is what we want to try to take advantage of. Is like that two-person viewing angle or whatever that the Astra has to do, and really that it's only going to happen with that coordination. And so to just keep that in mind, right? Because we couldn't get that timing right, we lost our flank watcher, which now puts you guys at a pretty tough situation. You guys don't have the information if they're pushing out hookah or even pushing out B long, because this molly and this turret only watches for this short push right here through market, but it doesn't actually watch like the cave push or even spawn. And so now you guys are in shambles. Based off of what I've seen you guys do, you guys probably will call for a rotate. That is a little bit tough because one of the problems is that you don't actually know what's on the other side, and we don't know how close people are.
6 on Astra and U-Haul.
All right, I guess we rotate. Oh, if I get this actually and a pick, we can res.
So it looks like you swing.
Awesome.
Nice.
We are able to get the trade. Elduro, I don't have your POV, so I'm a little unsure.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay. So it's a little tough there. I think that, how could
Okay,
we
we can
improve
res.
this?
Awesome.
Elduro, I think you're just a little bit slow on trying to get that trade on that Phoenix, or at least fight with your Sky. It looks like you did try. It just seemed a little bit on the slow side.
Nice.
So we can't try that. So we do get a res off. Okay, so in this situation here, I don't think we really need to try to save utility. You guys got the pick, and then you got a res off, right? So at this point, it's like, this is winnable, you know? I think Elduro, I think that moving forward, let's not try to save our utility, especially utility we can pick up, right? So I think that's a perfect opportunity for a Ghost Orb. This is in hindsight, I understand that, but what I want to just kind of remind you is that when you guys find yourself in this situation again, don't automatically think you can hold off a push from a Phoenix or a Sky who has a blind, right? And all you have is a Marshall. Yeah, and same. This goes to you as well, Sage. Is that like, you know, maybe you just use the wall. I know it's expensive, but maybe you just use the wall to basically 100% or 90, whatever. Anyways, basically make sure that you get the full value out of your ult. You know, it's like, yeah, that's basically it. Is let's try to get full value out of the ult. And we could have achieved that just using a wall. We could have achieved that just using a Viper smoky orb. And so, yeah, stuff like that.
Oh shit, we're fucked. Okay.
Yeah, and so, yeah, that didn't work. It's okay, though.
Okay, so let's all save then. Let's coordinate. the
Unless I.
economy a little bit better.
Yeah, we all save together.
Okay.
That's a good call to save. You guys do have a decent amount of money, and saving will, like, you know, you guys throw one round essentially, but like you guys will be left with like even more money. So you might be able to get like 2 full gun rounds, even if you lose the first gun round, but you might even get a second gun round out of it. So
I think we go.
okay, so this
I think we go. We do our A. Sorry, B strat again.
okay, so just a little bit late, right? Like we're all not really set up. It kind of works out because the Phoenix ults, but we're just not that ready, which we want to try to be.
He plays A.
Okay.
Okay, Sky, I'm unsure
Alright, bold.
what you're doing. You're like you're kind of like up, you were kind of up front, and then you kind of awkwardly backed up to kind of watch flank. So we want to be
Feeling close.
adaptive to what we do.
Okay, waiting for you.
Wait,
Okay.
he might be.
Oh, you have
he might
you
be
have
on the
a
side over here.
Marshall,
Watch
actually.
it.
Oh, he's got a.
Alright,
Oh, you got it.
then.
They know
Close
we're
left by
here.
box.
Alright, shooting cam. They see us.
He's
they
slowed.
see
He's
us.
slowed. He's slowed.
He's
Guys,
behind.
backside. Reina. Oh my God. Reina's elbow.
Okay, let's get out. Let's get out.
Where? Rotate?
Yeah, rotate,
Okay,
rotate,
rotate.
Oh shit.
Teleporter.
Gonna flash.
Coming to help you guys.
Reina's coming down long.
Reina's chasing.
30 seconds left.
Go A.
I got your back.
So there were 3 at B, but oh. Nice.
Okay, coming with you. Reina's gonna
Grab his
push us.
gun. Upgrade. Get his gun.
Okay, so
only
this
50 seconds,
isn't
gotta go.
this isn't so bad, but you did a good job of like keeping people B, and then like when the person teleported,
Guns out.
you guys still being mid here was I think a pretty good call
Right.
too. But I think the problem here is that Sage, you were starting to rotate. I wonder if at that point we kind of wonder like we might have been able to gain this space a bit sooner, and then also we just need to always be really aware that like they could be almost anywhere. You guys magically get her. I'm not too sure how, but you guys were able to kill her, and it looks like you guys had your knives out. But it's okay. It was a save round, and you guys got 2, and you guys might get this 3rd. So I think overall it's okay.
The
Spike
fuck?
down A.
Say save the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with the jet dash. And
So
then if
what I want you guys to pay attention to is that this bind is a small map, and I want you guys to kind of go back and think like, why did it, like, how did you guys run out of time? You know, like, how did we
we
lose
can
like
do
the minute
sky blind
and
again,
45 seconds or
while we're
whatever it
getting
is?
sucked, I think that would be
Um,
perfect because they won't be able to get.
Yeah.
Viper roll. Alright, nice.
Okay, so here I think I know the jet dashes, but we are a little far behind. You know, I feel like we could have 3-2-1 this thing, and you guys could be out probably past these stars. But instead, Sky, you did kind of like take a step back, and then you're kind of swinging it wide. The thing about this smoke, right, is that this one way, swinging it wide is more risky than like fast pushing through it. The reason why is because swinging it wide, it's still a one way, right? From almost any angle. Maybe not the truck, but like, you know, maybe from pocket they might be able to spot you. Swinging it wide basically puts you guys into the one way for longer. And so sometimes it makes sense to immediately jump straight out through this.
Stuck in the corner.
And then you guys end up, so they counter this pretty well. And so I think that it's part of it's kind of the timing is like, I think there's sometimes where I think like the flash could come out a second later. Like, you know, Jet, like if you guys can clear this box area that you guys have, you did clear, right? Like there was nothing in this whole area. You guys could slow walk up to like this point here behind this box, and then Jet can dash over towards U-Haul, and then like instead of flashing before Jet dashes, maybe flash right after. And since you're behind this box, all of you guys would be able to run through this before this combo hits you guys, because it's a really good counter strat, right? Like you guys got countered really easily. Now your Jet is fighting alone, your Sage is stuck in a Phoenix molly, and it's like yeah, it's just risky, right? Like Sage, like you don't want to swing this way because you know the one way's there, and then also you are just stuck in this molly. Like you can't go forward because of the suck, and then trying to swing the other way just puts you, forces you to basically stand behind the one way. But they did a good job counter-stratting this, counter-stratting you guys.
Okay, I'm
So I think
mollied,
it's
I'm
okay.
dead.
Yeah, see what happens is we allowed this smoke to do its job too well. right? Like we allowed, instead of running past it like quickly, we allowed for the one way to do its job. And I think this is where when you play a little bit too slow, and you give up a little bit too much, like they have too much time to react. And I think this is a prime example of that.
Where?
Should we get out of here?
I'm stacking you all.
Shit.
Alright, go.
Okay, so it looks like your Jet's
Just
kind of
like it.
killing it over here. Okay,
Right,
so
go,
Duro, you get
TP.
that. That's great.
They're both here.
One
One's
heaven.
heaven.
So you wall off heaven,
Nice.
and
nice.
so I actually like your decision here to rotate off. So I don't know if you actually got the read that all three, after the Cypher dies, I don't know if you got the read that
I'm stacking
everybody
you
was
all.
here.
Shit.
Hold on, let's see. Okay, Cypher dies. So we see one of them in the back, one in the front. You guys killed the Astra, so you know one is on site.
TP if you can.
And now you know one is in heaven. So I don't know if you got this information earlier or not, but this was a good call here. Like, you know they can't be flank at this point, so you give that flank up. And so now you're here ready with the team. And you're clearing showers. This is where I think maybe like the comms could be a little bit clearer that they're both on site, because they were definitely both seen on site. And I think it will prevent you from having to slow check everything, right? Like you could have ran straight through showers, probably before they hear you.
They're both here.
One
One's
heaven.
heaven.
Nice,
Shot.
nice.
Enemy
Nice,
Oh,
fuck,
yeah, okay.
jeez.
He was.
Let's go.
I know
Got
he was
this.
on site. Did he join the teleporter?
Okay, so lack of comms, right? It's like lack of comms. Your Killjoy is under the impression that maybe he jumped through teleporter. I think it's clear that he didn't, you know. I'm not sure the best way to try to clarify that, but it should be known that like we need to get to a place, right, where Killjoy isn't having to ask if Phoenix went through the teleporter. And that's probably through the nature of maybe not being told, right? Like maybe she is used to you guys not calling out if somebody does go through a teleporter, and so instead of just trusting what has been told to her, she is now confused, because it's like nobody has said anything, you know, and maybe nobody will say anything even if they do know that he teleported. I don't know. It just sounds like a miscommunication. Just keep in mind.
You just get angled.
Okay, so
Watch
this,
Hookah
let's see.
one
So you're
CT.
kind of watching hookah.
Sorry.
Good.
Look
Oh
at
yeah,
elbow.
agreed, agreed.
So you slow walk this towards elbow.
Saving gun.
Okay, so
Agreed, agreed.
Oh, he's here,
okay,
he's
so
here.
this is
He's
something
a day.
that
Play for
hold-
Viper.
hold
You can.
secured.
I know
Got
he was
this.
on site.
okay, so
Did he
at
join
this
the
point
teleporter?
you guys are running onto site. We get the information that the Phoenix is on A,
No,
right?
he's here. He's here.
So Phoenix is on
He's a
A.
day.
Jet, I'm unsure
Play
what
for
your play is
Viper,
here.
You can.
Secured
You
or-
kind of want to watch CT.
Yeah. Go ahead. Don't peek out too much.
Like, so you were going elbow, and then you decide to come back onto site, and then you're going back to elbow, and then you're
I think we just hold it.
playing a little bit slow.
You just get angles.
Yeah, so at this point, right, like I think that you should have just rushed over here into elbow, and then you can be watching that
Watch
elbow
Hookah
exit.
right.
And then the way you hold it, I'm not a huge fan of here. So the problem here is that the Phoenix could come out CT, and you are not ready to do anything. You're too far from the corner. And you cannot tell your Viper that Phoenix is CT. And so what happens is that the Phoenix now gets to do, if he comes CT, he gets to do a free 1v1, like a 50-50 fight against your Viper. Yeah, so that's the issue I see with this, is that Phoenix can walk all the way through this and you would never even know about it, and your Viper wouldn't know, right? Jet, I think you should be the one who should be peeking this in order for the Viper to know that Viper does not have to look at CT anymore. Viper can be more focused on like maybe jump peeking for hookah or maybe jiggle peeking for long. But yeah, the problem I see with your position here is that Viper has to watch three things, right? Like you need to take the load off for one or two of these side angles, right? Viper can watch because he's backside. He can watch hookah and long, and he's still far away enough to where Jet you could like go run around and support, but because you're only holding this elbow area and you're not actually watching, you're not jiggling for CT. It causes for the Phoenix to be able to walk out, take this fight, and then you're too far away to do anything. Like he could flash out, jump out, kill the Viper, and then like he's kind of running on site, and you have to chase him all the way around. You know, so yeah, I just think we can work a little bit on positioning there and like at like why this position that you're holding here isn't really working in your situation, right? In this 2v1 type of situation, you're holding a position that forces your Viper to be too aware of too many things.
Saving gun.
So now you check it, but yeah, like I said, same thing is just the problem is that there's too much time there, so the Phoenix could have
It's confusing.
crossed you. So Phoenix ends up coming a different direction, and I feel like we didn't get that information early enough. And so yeah, we didn't get that information early enough. The Viper could have easily died there because your Viper had to focus on too many things, right? But he was more focused on elbow, or sorry, on CT when he didn't really need to because of where your position was. Like you should have been able to be jiggling that to ensure that you will know if it is a CT push. Luckily, the Phoenix made a big mistake of not even checking backside before tapping the bomb, and so
Nice.
so luckily
I'll leave it here.
that worked out.
Let me go.
Oh, I kind of. Can I get a buy? Duro? Okay, that works.
Hawk out. Blinded.
Nice. Okay, let's go.
Let me.
Okay, so it looks like this was kind of a coordinated push, or coordinated play. I think one of the problems here is that you guys didn't seem too ready. Like we should have some people long and some people short. I think we should really have this split. Sky does a flash on A, and then Killjoy is going. So Killjoy, you look like you were towards B. Yeah, it looks like you were hovering more towards B.
Okay, that works.
Kind of watching for flank. So I think you should be playing in this position. Like you really should be playing a bit closer to your Sky, because what happens if your Sky gets pushed really heavily? And so you need to be there to support that.
Hawk out.
Because you walk towards, like you're looking towards your
Nice.
teammates
Okay,
B,
let's go.
and then you turn around
Let me go.
when your Sky leaves.
We'll go long.
Yeah, yeah.
Placing alarm bot.
We don't hookah so that we push up long first.
Alright,
Okay.
1, 2.
Yeah, so problem here is that we flashed so early and we're not ready to push B that you did the flash, and then the opposing team hears and sees absolutely nothing. Like they have no more information. You know, it's like their call was they flashed A, and then I don't hear anything. A, right? And so now because of that flash, the Reyna starts walking out B, right? Because the immediate call was that, you know, they're A. Reyna pushes out B. And so Reyna has gotten control of this octagon. She gets a little bit overzealous, and she starts pushing out and starts maybe challenging.
Sweet.
Oh, I have my ult.
You guys get a pick on that.
Call this. Alright, fuck it.
So now you dog this.
Yep, they know we're here. Cypher's backside. Left.
I killed his cam.
You want to fight it?
Dude, what the heck? He's Odin back. Careful. I'll just spam that.
Hawk out. Blinded.
planting, same spot as last round.
Joke's over. You're dead.
They're breaking my wall. Here.
Oh, they killed it?
Okay. I think that Killjoy ults, I think we should take that long. You know, I know that you were more set up for flank, so I think that's okay. You place it where you could, but I do think that we don't want to allow it to be too wall bangable. And long makes it quite a bit tougher for them to do that. Liv, I want you to be just a little bit more clear on your comms and their names. I notice you tend to do here a lot and you will ping, but the problem is in the heat of the moment, it is difficult, right? Like your team now has to look around and look for the ping, or they have to look at the minimap, look at what you're looking at, or they have to look at the minimap and look for that ping, right? And it can be pretty tough for your team. Skins, I feel like you're a little bit too deep to support your team, but maybe you have an angle on CT, so maybe that's okay.
No, it was.
So he pushes out CT, you guys kill it, it's his ult, so you know that there's going to be another. So you're able to get that
Left house.
sky.
They're in box with a
I
Bucky.
know exactly where you are. One enemy remaining.
Nice shot.
Nice. Almost whiffed there, but that's okay.
Nice shit, you guys. Oh, yeah.
Okay. To rotate it, because they think we might commit.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
maybe
you
so.
are faced with the same Astra one way, and then there's a couple other Starry boys on the floor, so you know this is what their plan is, right? Like, you know Astra's playing here, Phoenix is playing here. They have this anti-push strat for short with the suck and the molly, and so
Alright.
I like that you guys are
walk.
playing a little
They're,
more aware.
Skins. Keep in
We'll
mind,
do that.
she might have an op. The ring.
I like that we maintain some presence here on A, but I also think, Jet, you shouldn't have backed off. The problem is that when you give up that presence on A, then your B players start to become ready, you know.
Yeah, flank. Phoenix is flanking.
Alright.
Yeah, Jet, I think you should have. I low-key, I think you should have challenged somebody. You should have tried to isolate a one-on-one fight on A and then challenge that A player. If you win, they will probably think it's A, you know, or they'll start rotating. At least one person will rotate off of B towards A, or it'll prevent the A players from rotating to B because they know that there is a threat on A, you know, so they don't currently have a reason to believe it's B. You guys are walking up. Cypher spots you
Yeah, no, we're
guys, and then
backside.
you guys. Okay, so two of you guys run, right? So here's where the confusion in protocol, right? Like, this is what you do when this happens. This is what's happening. Is that I've got two people running
55
away.
seconds left. Teleporter. Astra's in the teleporter.
Yeah. So that's what's tough, right? Is that like we are now. It looks like. Viper, it looks like you decided to push onto site. Your Sage did not push with you. Sky, Killjoy, because of the camera, you guys both ran. And then you guys were just kind of out here like sitting ducks, like, you know, weren't really ready for anything, right? That's why they were able to get through hookah, and you guys were just really caught off guard. If the four of you were able to push out onto B site at the same time, it would have been a 4v2. If you guys are able to successfully trade each other, it would be a 2v2. It would have been if you guys were able to successfully trade each other like 1-for-1, then you guys would have killed two people on site and had two people alive. At that point, because of the teleport, we are aware that they teleported Jet, depending on what you were actually watching, because it doesn't look like you were watching that teleporter, so you didn't actually see them jumping towards it. At this point, once they're off site, you hear the teleporter Jet. You could flank, and you could get through the teleporter without them expecting it, and basically flank those that decide to use the teleporter. The idea here, right, is we kind of punish them for trying this kind of stuff on us, is that we're able to adapt quickly enough that we punish them. You know, like they jump through teleporter. They think A was totally clear, but you know, heads up, there was actually a lurker. We had A, and they were right behind you guys in the teleporter. But because of what happens and everybody kind of splits up, so there's a Cypher Cam, Killjoy Sky, you guys run off. Viper Sage, you guys stay, but Viper, you jump onto site alone and you're forced against to kind of fight two people here, right? They both swing on you, so you didn't have much of a chance here. And then Sage, you backed up to support your mid players. If we were all on the same page, then maybe our Viper and our Sage would have both backed up to support the mid players, or we would have never had to really face them in mid, and you guys would have gotten control of the site, and then you guys at that point return your focus towards Hookah, which would then be flanked by the Jet.
80.
Elbow.
Spike down.
Oh,
Phoenix
straight up.
just went in.
Last
And then Jet, you're slow walking, right? It's like that chaos was happening, and then you slow walk.
Elbow.
spike down.
Oh,
Phoenix
straight up.
just went in.
Last player
Oh, he
standing.
did.
Porter?
So, yeah, so
Astra was in there. Thank you.
you do get that kill,
Reyna's
so that's
on
nice.
B.
Yeah, I do think, right, like, it's like you're going for this hero play now when your team died. You know, you could have been more aggressive before that, you know, even was the case. You know, imagine, you know, that you went aggressive. And I've said this before. Imagine you went aggressive when your team was fighting and not playing as slow as you were. You know, you showed your presence a little bit behind a one-way. And then after that, they never saw you. Like, you didn't do anything. You know, you were, you know, making sure you weren't getting flanked, but you did have a Killjoy at that point. So I'm not 100% sure exactly what your call was, you know, is like what was your plan that was helpful to your team to winning this round? It seems like your play was a little bit more about just trying to get a kill and less about really like what your team actually needs at that point. And so I want you to just take some time and think about some plays for yourself that is beneficial for the team. And, you know, the thing is, I know, like, yeah, a kill is beneficial for your team, but I think it's getting the right kill, you know, that the impact frag, you know, the one that really provides a lot of impact for your team. So then that goes for everybody, right? Like, this play was just scuffed. Like, one person dies and it kind of threw everything off. And honestly, what threw this play off, honestly, I think really was just you guys got stopped by a Cypher camera. And we don't want to let just something so minor stop an entire push. It's not that necessary, and it caused for everybody to kind of split up here.
Oh, that sucks.
So this was a little bit scary. So you'd never look at elbow, even though Reyna was seeing elbow. Your team should have called that out for you,
Yeah.
so you should be aware.
Oh, she's garden.
Yeah, and so she ended up making her way from elbow to garden. So it's a little risky. Like, the thing is, if you know where you're going to jet dash to, as a jet, you can look around while you're dashing, which will give you a little indicator on your minimap. And your team is very aware of their minimap, and so even when they're dead, they will be calling out locations for you. So just something to kind of keep in mind as a jet.
Alright, let's go.
Alright, I'm gonna walk.
So we've used 2 flashes, and we haven't gained any space, so we're not able to really capitalize on those. Sometimes it might even be worth just playing extra quiet and waiting for maybe this one way to disappear.
Watch short.
Heaven. I have to go back. Boulder to
Okay.
heal.
We could rotate.
Oh, okay, my bad. Alright, yeah, we can rotate. You guys down? We got a pick.
Yeah.
To run it, y'all.
They probably called
Yeah,
I can
that's
watch
alright.
short.
We gotta run together, guys.
yeah.
Everybody. You two
Cypher's
skins.
gonna be here.
Okay. They're already at B.
So I like
Got
this
her.
ult.
Nice pick.
Gives you an
Should-
idea
should-
where they're at.
I'm fucked, I'm blind.
Okay, so you
Got her.
know,
Nice
you
try.
guys got counter flashed, you know, so they got the read that it wasn't that you guys were rotating at that point. And so I want you guys to think about like what can we do to prevent them from rotating so quickly? Because the Sky was in U-Haul and the Sky was able to read that you guys were rotating. And the Sky was there in time before you guys jumped out onto site. And I know this map is small, so it's like they're able to rotate really quickly. But we gotta try to think of ways to prevent them from rotating too.
Should it?
I'm fucked, I'm blind.
Okay, so I think here, right? Like I know it's kind of obvious that Flash came from CT, but I do think that one of our comms should be Sky is CT. Because your teammates who don't get flashed, they might have been timed and they just didn't really see exactly where that flash came from. They might even think it's your teammate's flash. Yeah, so it looks like your Viper is able to get on site and your Viper's in a pretty good position. You guys are able to wall, that's good.
What? I got you.
Oh shit.
We're good. We can hold.
Recalling my bot.
What
Elbow?
the
One
heck?
dies elbow.
Yeah. He's slow on peeking.
Cypher CT.
Elbow. Sky. She's at 80.
So I don't think we need to overfight this because the thing is we know the Cypher has to push out.
Enemy remaining.
And
Elbow?
you magically get that kill. That was definitely a run and gun, but that's okay.
Yep,
He's
still
over.
over. Shit,
Oh, what is this? A
Nice.
highlight reel for for skins?
I would not have.
Oh, by two.
I think. Might need you with this.
Yep, Sky's out there.
They probably called us out.
Shit. Oh man, I was just gonna drop my turret and she was just camping in the corner.
Buffing
I'm
just
sorry.
pushed with me. Oh no.
Okay, it's okay. It's 4v5, but they're on save, hopefully. I'm watching backside, dude. If you wanna. Clearing sight.
Yep. Planting.
Okay, so with a wall like this, you need to be aware that the opposing team can walk out of CT and they could be in this pocket. They could walk basically up to hookah. So that's something that we need to be aware of as a team. I know both of you guys seem to be quite a bit more focused on CT and not really realizing that they could have they could walk out off that, you know, that wall. It's a wall that covers CT, and I understand you guys don't have a smoker, so this is kind of what you need to do. But I want you to also realize that this is kind of a retake wall for them. It's not the best retake wall for them, but you could technically have like 3 people stand behind the wall, and then right when the wall drops, like, you know, you guys are kind of blindsided by it. And then your Jet pushes into elbow. With this wall up, your Jet really isn't able to help you guys, right? With that CT exit, like they could walk out CT, and
Oh,
nobody
sorry,
knows.
shit.
Your Jet's ready to take that fight.
Oh, and then Sky CT.
Jet, I think we need to play a it's like, I know that I can sound like I'm I have a double standard or something, right? Like some days I'm saying like you need to play aggressive, and then sometimes I'm saying you need to play back a little bit. I think that we could find like a nice mix of both. So you put yourself into a position that was kind of like one and done because you're like just kind of tucked into that corner. If you were playing more close to this corner over here, like so that way you can kind of jiggle / like strafe over, you could have like kind of gotten a pick and then escaped. I'm not sure if you had your dash still, but I'm going to assume with that pick, you probably do have your dash. So you could have played something maybe a little bit more untradeable. Jiggle, get that info, because of this wall here from the Sage, your players on site can't help you, you know? And so you end up doing like a 1v2/1v3 alone. Yeah, so just something that we want to kind of keep in mind. Like, we want to be really proactive and deliberate about what utility we use where and where we position ourselves. Yeah.
T.
Yeah.
Let's spawn.
So at this point, Sky, we have 2 flashes. You know, we could flash something kind of deep in order to get info. And oh my gosh, that Phoenix whiffed.
Oh yeah, she has an Odin.
So you know CT.
Or no, Ares. Sorry.
Where is she? Sorry.
She was CT.
So we know CT. So Sky, I think you definitely should be just positioning yourself for CT.
What's going?
And you're kind of looking at hookah, kind of looking at long. But it looks like you're just trying to make your
Got me?
escape.
Just hold spy. Oh, you're good. You can start running.
Yeah.
Save the guns.
All right, so this works out.
Oh,
Yeah.
let me know when you're peeking. I have bomb.
Peeking. Okay, we have Reyna in garden.
Nice.
That means she's
Huh?
most likely
Yeah.
on B.
Wait,
Cypher's.
I have bomb.
So I like this fast
Seven's
push
behind.
right here.
Seven's behind.
There's one on
Oh, that's
site. Who is Spike? Not me.
I got it.
Awesome.
So we have U-Haul control. We wall off for showers. Jet, it looks like you're playing on a box, maybe?
Alright, nicely done.
Beautiful. Let's go.
Okay. Cypher has an Odin. He's coming lamps.
One enemy remaining.
Running
Nice
guns, but
shit.
that's okay.
He's outside. Stage wall.
Blinded.
He healed up though, so be careful.
We have KJ shit on bomb.
Nice hold, guys.
Do these fellas.
Oh, Duro, man. You always got the. Sponsored by.
Bruh.
Yeah, go.
They're gonna blind out of it. We B again, guys. We go B again.
Hi, puppy. Oh my god.
Can
you're
someone
such a
come
good
along with me?
puppy.
Oh,
Yeah, go along with you.
Alright, I'm waiting.
Teleporter.
Careful.
TP. They're gonna blind out of it, most likely.
Yeah.
I slowed it. Alright, you ready?
what are we
Hold it.
doing? Push B or rotate?
We're. You know what I'm gonna do? Y'all? I'm gonna do this. Alright, now we push.
Okay, so it looks like the rest of your team wasn't exactly sure where we were pushing after that. So, Sage, it looks like you kind of had this idea in your head about where to push. We never regained
left.
control of hookah.
Thank you.
They're rotating or they're
Yeah.
on site.
So I'm a little
Okay.
confused.
They don't
You know,
flank.
The thing is, you made so much noise and action here, right? Like all that utility, and it looks like you guys, no one is possibly in hookah. I probably would have very quickly rotated, like wall off that teleporter and just very quickly go A, because at most it sounds like there's one on A who may have rotated through CT.
Which is annoying.
So yeah, one is stuck in the teleporter, and so the problem there is that the teleporter now is a threat to you guys, right? So it's keeping one of your teammates occupied.
Rotate then.
I'm out of stuff.
The
Yeah,
4 of us can
TP.
take TPs.
Phoenix came out.
You guys TP, so it looks like the A player was pushing out A short, and the Phoenix was in teleporter that whole time. So this TP call I think is good,
Mind, I do not.
but you
Have
guys
my
need to be
Just the
aware.
Porter.
So okay, so this is perfect, right? So like you guys ended up going A, and your killjoy was set up to watch that CT exit. A should be free at this point, but it does look like that turret caught something. So by the looks of it, there must have been 3 on A, and one was trying to flank, and so we need to make sure we calm that to the rest of our team.
Go fucking skins!
Alright, I'm gonna need a heal of some sort, pretty please. With sugar
Alright,
on
that'll
top.
be Buffington.
That's okay. I'll grab this orb, and I'm gonna go through the teleporter.
So yeah, so Sky,
see
we
what
need
happens.
to be aware of that, right? Like
I don't have any
If I die, I die.
we think that there was a flank, right?
Thank you.
There should have been one A short.
Anybody watching on site?
One enemy remaining.
So there's that Sky. That was a short, and then one tried to sneak in CT.
Wow.
So that's a great example of they made a big mistake there. Honestly, they made a huge mistake. They decided to split up, and the Cypher didn't regroup with their Sky, and yeah, they were punished for it. So that was great.
I can keep watching flank unless you want me to do something else.
No, I think you watching flank is fucking. They're over there.
Yeah.
Next and Sky, most likely. Anyway,
Okay.
showers time.
We know when we're.
I don't hear anything.
Oh, shit. Fuck that.
Okay, he's there on the left.
Oh, I one-shotted him.
Nice shit, nice shit. Oh,
No one's
he's
having.
fine.
What?
Guys, there's 2 showers.
Down A.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, so you guys get flashed. That's okay. You know, it's like
Spikes down.
not a whole lot you can do there. I do want to see
Wait,
how
shooter?
you guys
They're
adapt to
rotating.
this. So they get
I'm
the
low
Phoenix.
HP.
Oh,
There's still a Reyna in there.
I'm out of range of some of my shit.
He knows you're coming now?
Yep.
It's actually 2 in there.
Last player standing.
99 on Phoenix. Some of my shit.
All right, so this is where I want us to pay attention to this proactive decision. So instead of pushing on a site, you decided to fall back with your Killjoy. I think you really could have calmed to your Killjoy to wait for you, right? Because it looks like you want to go support your Killjoy, but you guys are walking at the same speed, so Jet, you'll never catch up in time. And so at this point, your Killjoy has now engaged into a fight, and you are still slow walking.
9 on Phoenix.
Try, nice try.
Yeah.
It's last round. You can pop your ult if you want to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Cypher's got his camera.
Oh shit!
Defensive team on this map.
It's okay.
Playing, guys. Go for it.
Yeah.
Don't. Yep.
No, he's one.
Okay, they very well could be doing a slow push here, guys. So I don't think we rotate. I think we hold our sight.
Okay, so our Sky has gained control of A short,
I agree.
actually.
Agreed.
Yep.
So it
Showers.
looks like a shower push. It looks like a shower push. So it looks like they're splitting up quite a bit. So it looks like one has crossed to our Sage. So we need to make sure, Sky, we need to make sure we calm that. So that way our Sage is aware that she is being pushed like immediately, like super close to her. It looks like there was one B long that whole time. And so at this point, our Jet falls to the Sky. And I'm going to assume the Sky is the lurker.
No, he's 104.
We get some trades here, so that's good.
Hookah. One long.
Alright.
This guy is one shot.
Good shit, good shit. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
coming B.
Y'all good help.
She
too.
was long. I don't know where she went.
One of them TP'd.
That was Buffington?
That was us.
Okay.
So no one's market, right? At this point, Sage, I think we really need to rotate back, right? Because it looks like we got the read that they're going A. I'd be a little shocked if they commit.
Gone elbow.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if they commit to this.
I don't think so, because my turret didn't go off.
Okay, gotcha.
But I'm gonna check it anyway. I didn't hear her go down the teleporter. She could be rotating the long
30
way.
seconds left.
I think
Oh,
they
God,
probably
nice.
are.
We are.
Until Skins
Yeah,
is in
so they
position.
did go back. So I feel like we got that read pretty early, but we
Alright.
never committed to
Go
it.
ahead, Skins.
She just flashed.
That was
I
us.
go U-Haul. Okay.
One enemy remaining.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Slam,
You
slam,
all-
slam.
There we go.
Nice.
We
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Yep, perfect.
So
I think
Liv,
we're
that was a great
pushing
call.
them.
I
Are we
like that
all
you said
forcing?
that. I like that you said that you were ready, right? You were ready to start pushing, so that was a good call.
We are.
yeah.
They're gonna try. Yeah, they're shooting my wall. Oh, they're shooting your shit? I slowed it if you want to pop it.
Yeah.
Alright, is it cool
Yeah.
number
Let
2?
us know. Yeah.
Okay.
So you flash into hookah.
Be careful, Skins. I'm watching hookah. Watching back.
Yep. Thank you. All right. Phoenix just dropped down.
Nice. Another one heaven.
Guys, I gotta back up.
Yep.
One's garden. Oh,
Can't find his damn. Camera.
Sky, I think it's okay. We
Oh, no.
I don't think we need to commit too
Are
much
they
to that
both there?
camera.
Or just Cypher?
Asher's there for sure.
I don't know
One
about
enemy
Cypher.
remaining.
Oh, we're such assholes. Let's go.
Out there.
So you guys should have gotten the read that the cipher was long because of the camera.
There for sure.
Oh, we're such assholes. Let's go. Alright,
Nice.
I think they're gonna be looking for picks now. They have to-
Okay.
alright. Skins, it's walled. Can I leave you here?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me know if you get anything on your util, and I'll
I
rotate
will.
right back.
Oh, yo. A.
Got it, got it.
A lot of smokes on A.
Good shit, good shit. Showers?
Showers.
So at this point, we definitely want to try to shoot out the blind, right? Whoever can should try to shoot out the blind, because if nobody does it, then you guys are just put in a really bad disadvantage. Like, this definitely blinds our Sky from swinging wide, and then this blinds our Viper, you know, so make sure we try to shoot those out. You're better off shooting out the blind than you are wall banging the box, because like you kind of know that she pushed towards this direction behind triple Sky, and you seem kind of committed to wall banging this section here when you could have shot the blind, which would have given your Viper a bigger chance. So you could have shot the blind and then swung wide.
Jumps in there. Nice.
Yeah, and then you're kind of caught off guard here, you know, without, I feel like, a solid understanding of like what is happening on the rest of the side at this point.
Nice.
Down A.
On me.
So it looks like your
Nice.
Sage actually gets spike in U-Haul.
I slowed spike. They're gonna have to push this slow.
So one's here.
Showers.
And so at this point, Liv, I love that you're calming. I don't know if that's the important call here.
Think they rotate, or should I stay here?
Please rotate. We have
Okay.
spike down.
Yeah, and then looks like Skins is unsure if she should rotate. So we do have control of spike, so you definitely should rotate at that point.
Here.
All right.
Bot coming back.
That's a phantom under you.
One enemy remaining.
Oh.
Nice kill, Liv.
Oh,
Oh, Liv, nice.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely, I know.
Dude,
Yeah, no.
thank you for getting her low. Boulder. Seen Astra.
they're low bites.
Short. Showers.
Got it. I'm gonna rotate again.
Oh, Cypher's camera's like heavy.
Short.
Okay. Let me know if you need help. Oh, we have Cypher here on A. Skins.
Okay.
Phantom.
One enemy remaining.
Hit him with the running
Holy
gun.
shit, y'all work.
Nice.
What?
Yo.
Oh.
I don't know.
Nice. A short.
Yep.
Oh, watch out. They did Astra shit by showers.
Alright.
More than
Oh,
likely
Sky's
coming shower.
long. Be long.
Oh.
I'm gonna bring the
Nice.
wall down so we can see she showers.
Does she
I'm-
have
I'm
one
following your dog.
there?
I'm going through spawn for heal.
Watching short.
Pretty bomb.
Dang it.
Haha.
Oh, you.
Can I get a? Do you have an extra heal?
Buffington.
There's
You have
definitely
heal?
a lead.
Nice. Wall broke. A short.
long.
Is that this?
Okay.
One
Coming to
enemy
Skins.
remaining.
Oh shit, Skins.
Nice
Okay.
Skins.
Fuck.
Run and gun.
Classics.
GG.
Nice. Look like an easy win for you
Oh my
guys.
god, good shit, you guys.
But yeah, overall
Wait,
you guys did great.
Rangers we were
You know,
playing?
I feel
Hell
like you
yeah,
guys did a
classic.
lot better. I feel like this team was definitely quite a bit weaker. But you know, I think there's still a lot of things to learn. You know, about some of the rounds that you guys lost. That combination of the Astra Phoenix, like that seems coordinated to me, right? Like that seems coordinated and it worked. And, you know, so, you know, maybe we start to think about coordinated plays like that. You know, you guys don't play Astra, but maybe you guys can do a combination of the slow and the spicy boy, the Killjoy Molly, plus the Sage slow, stuff like that. So yeah, so a couple things to keep in mind. And yeah, overall, I think it was good. Thanks, guys.